Hi viewers, my name is Dr. Collins Osekrantin. Today's interview is a wonderful one. Today I have with me a wonderful, pretty lady. This lady has gone through breast cancer journey. Today we are going to discuss her journey through breast cancer one screening, how she was able to go through the diagnosis of breast cancer and how she was able to treat breast cancer and her life after the treatment and management of breast cancer. And I know it's not just about that. Today you're going to learn so much about breast cancer since this same lady is an advocate for breast cancer and she hopes that she has a foundation in future to help women who may have similar issues in future. This interview is going to be one of your best, so stay tuned. Welcome back, viewers. Today I have with me Lady Elsie Sally Narh. Welcome, lady.
Thank you, Doc.
Wow, it's quite interesting, and I'm so pleased to meet you on our channel today. Personally, I've been following your interview for the past few weeks,
Wow.
and I think we have had few interactions on the comment sections of my channel.
Mhm.
Going through your story, I learned you are one of the survivors of breast cancer in Ghana. And just going through, following your story and all that, I think it is something that people need to hear because you've been hearing about breast cancer and all that in the country. People have died of breast cancer. And a lot of people, as I speak or as we are here, are going through this kind of condition. Tell us, how did this start?
Okay, thanks so much for having me on your channel.
You're welcome.
And it's a privilege to share my story to inspire hope and confidence in women who have been diagnosed with breast cancer. So basically, my story is just to say that there is hope after diagnosis, and it's very possible to even survive a stage 3 or a stage 4 breast cancer. Yeah. So my journey started in 2022.
Okay.
Yeah, November 2022. It was one of those times I must do a self-breast examination, something I do quite often, and I realized there's a painless lump in my left breast. So I just
I want to know, it started when you were doing a self-breast examination.
Sure. So I don't know how long it had been there.
Okay.
But
so it means you were the first to know
yeah,
that you had something like this
exactly.
by examining yourself.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
something that I do often.
I wish you could teach our viewers how to do that because somebody is listening and probably even through this video they may learn that.
Okay, just want to go do something briefly about that. So
Okay.
for every woman, after a week after your menses,
Okay.
it's expected that you do this examination. At that time, the breast is not tender.
Okay.
Usually when we are ovulating, you get some changes in your body. Sometimes breast pain comes with it. So after your menses, the breast is relaxed. So there are some things you have to look into the mirror to observe.
Okay.
And there's something others that you had to really feel in your breast. So in front of a mirror, or you can use your phone.
Okay.
You look for changes in your breast. You look at the equalness. Breast is supposed to be very equal, both left and right.
Okay.
So if
You mean
one
the sizes?
Yes, so the size, one is a little bigger than the other, but with the level, it has to be the same.
Okay.
Very symmetrical. Yeah. So you check whether they are all the same,
Okay.
whether big or small.
Okay.
Then the size, you check whether one is extremely bigger than the other. Now you look out for nipple discharge, rashes behind the nipple, reddening area.
I think we want people to understand, you know. So when you say nipple discharge, what do you mean?
I mean that when you press your nipple, water comes from it. If you are not breastfeeding, you are not expected to have any water coming from your nipple. So when you press and there's something coming out, whether colorless, whether something bloody or brownish, you have to report. Then sometimes rashes, which is not like a heat rashes, something different behind your nipple. Then a dimpling.
What is dimpling?
Dimpling, that's a part of your breast has gone in, as if you've pressed a donut in the hole. That yes. Then also you check whether the skin of your breast looks like the peel of an orange. There is a type of breast cancer called prodorange, like the skin of an orange. That one doesn't come as a lump. It just comes at the thickening of your breast and the skin around your breast. So you look for all these changes. And you also look for lymph nodes. There are some lymph nodes just above your neck bone and below, and also in your armpits. You also have to check whether you see some swellings there. So after all these things in the mirror or on your phone, now you stand with your arms at your waist. Okay, if you are very busty, have a bigger breast, you lift and check under the breast and see whether there's some changes there. And now you tighten
I'm sure we will insert, we will put a video of you demonstrating this act of self-breast screening in addition to this video, so that our viewers can have a look at it. But I think what you are trying to demonstrate is very educative. But I see that it will be more, proficient practical for people to see and act. But I think you are more good. So you did this yourself. You did the screening yourself, and you got to know. You had an impression that it could be a breast cancer.
See, because I do it often, I was familiar with how my own breast feels like, and that is very important.
So you're doing it every time?
Yes. So I knew how my breast, I knew the tissues, how they feel. They said every breast has like a badger or something, but so I know how my own breast tissue feels like. So when I realized that it's not something unusual, then I was alarmed. Then I went to the other breast and checked. I saw that there was nothing. So I came back. Yes, there is something there. So that was how I got to find out.
So when you did the examination, you said you felt something unusual. That means you felt there was a lump or what?
Small lump. Just closer to my nipple. Yes, usually the areola. The part that collects the milk for the baby to suck. Yes, that is where I felt the lump. And I hadn't felt it before.
And was it painful?
Not at all.
So even before the examination, the day you did the examination, you were okay?
Perfect.
You didn't feel headache, you didn't feel chills or any fever, nothing?
No, not at all.
You were just doing your normal routine breast screening?
Yeah.
And you saw there was a little lump?
Yes.
And that was it?
That was it.
Wow.
That was it, yeah.
So when you felt the lump, what happened next?
So I was alarmed, but I just calmed myself. So you'll be fine, because 8 out of 10 lumps are not cancerous. So I said, okay, maybe I'm part of the 8. The first person I spoke to, I think a day later, was my mom. And I said, Mommy, I have found something in my breast. She exclaimed. I said, oh, don't worry, it's nothing. Don't worry, I'll just get it checked up. So I went to the doctor the following day to get it checked up. And lo and behold, she said, yes, there's a lump. So that's how I started with my diagnostic investigations. So I did a breast ultrasound first. Then I went on to do a true cut biopsy. But there was one interesting thing about that. So the first scan I didn't say much, but saw that there was some a large lymph node. Lymph nodes are not supposed to be felt or seen unless there's something wrong with it. So there were 2 large ones in my armpits, and the sonographer didn't say much, but I wasn't convinced. I went on to do the second and the third, and lo and behold, it had cancer features. So I just felt my whole world was coming to an end.
So wait, before we move forward, you first saw the lump. Then you took a step to go see a doctor. And the doctor asked you to do a scan. Right? And you went to do sonography. A normal breast scan.
A normal breast scan,
And the scan report, what was?
The first one said it was just something in the duct. Didn't say it had some cancerous features. So it gave me a low scoring. Usually we score the breast scans. So it gave me BIRAD 1. So it was just like a normal breast. I stated that there were 2 large lymph nodes. That is what got me alarmed.
So you read the scan yourself, the report yourself. And you got to know there was something wrong with the scan.
Yeah.
Perhaps because you are a nurse, right? So you are in the field and you could understand some of these things.
Yeah.
But how would somebody who is not in the field read a scan that, because sometimes they don't even understand what. So in that case, is there any advice for people?
Well, I think they should still show their scans to their doctors, the doctor requesting it. If they can also have some intuitions and do further investigations.
Okay, so the doctor you gave the scan to, what was the feedback from him?
So even before I gave it to him, I had already done the second and the third.
Oh, so because, okay, well, so based on your background as a nurse, you had a suspicion in regards to the first sonography, and you went ahead to do a further ultrasound.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, all right.
Yes. So that was how.
And you gave it to the doctor, and what did the doctor say?
Even though I had read the third one, which scored me BRAD 4A, highly suspicious of cancer, I was still not alarmed. I was just calm. So when I showed it to my doctor, she didn't say anything. All she did was she just gave me a hug. And told me,
male or female doctor?
A female doctor.
Okay.
And she said, Elsie, we are fighting this together. That's when I realized that
there is something
wrong with me.
Wow, this doctor is great.
And
will you want to, is it allowed to mention her name?
Yes, I will. I'll mention her name anywhere I go. She's Dr. Joyce J.
Dr. Joyce
J, yes.
At which hospital?
Trust Hospital.
Wow, doctor, thank you so much, Dr. Joyce J. Thank you so much for the hug. I'm sure that hug was soothing and
yes, and it gave me hope. I mean, so beginning my journey, I started on a very good note because psychologically I was prepped up. And she said, Elsie, consider yourself being there for your kids. My little one was 2 years by then. And I had gone through a divorce that year, in April that year. So I was like, no, this thing couldn't have happened to me because my kids need me. So she was like, see yourself being there at their graduation or to any higher.
This was from the doctor?
This was from my doctor. There and then we're all shedding tears. I was like, no, who will take care of my mom? Who will take care of my kids? Then she was like, no, just see yourself going through this together. And don't worry, we are going to fight it. There are many that have fought it, and you are going to be one of them. My director of nursing also came in. She did also a wonderful job. Mrs. Lillian Annan, she said, Elsie, see this thing as a ministry God is giving you. See it as going through a room with fire. If you need 10 steps to go through it, double it and make it 5. Know that there is hope at the end of the tunnel. So I was very prepared. My family also was there. She said, Elsie, don't shoot yourself in the foot. Don't give up. Just tell yourself it's going to be okay. I mean, the procedures you have to go through are not deadly. They have been tried and tested, and you are going to be fine. Unfortunately, I didn't get any survivor to look up to at that time, but the words from these people, my pastor friends, speaking to me with the word of God, now the scripture made meaning to me. So when Bible says by his stripes we are healed, I just believed it. And at that point, I told myself that faith and science work together.
Wow, because, I like that. Yeah, I like that. You see, back in the hospital, when I was at Bono Regional Hospital, there was one thing that I was not happy with at all. Most of the times, people come with all sorts of conditions, cancer, whatever it is, name, even HIV/AIDS. Then you are there trying to manage the patient, and family members will come with some letter, discharge against medical advice, and they'll take the patient away. Then after some few days, they'll bring the patient deteriorated, and the next thing is the person is dead. So a lot of people, especially here in Ghana, they try to use superstition, to outdo science. And I like what you said. You said God,
faith and science
works together.
Yes.
Faith and science works together. So this is a message to all our viewers, everyone. If there is any condition, any disease you are having, in fact, it is not Satan who gave doctors knowledge to heal the sick. The medical school we attend, the books we read are not satanic books. So if you have any disease, any condition, as Lady Elsie said, faith and science works together. Go to hospital once you pray. A lot of people with conditions, go to prayer camps, they go to juju people and all sorts of things. And by the time they come to the hospital, it's the last minute. The doctors can't do anything about it. So please, from Lady Elsie, faith and science works together. I've quoted you.
Yeah, I said faith because I don't want to limit myself to my Christian faith because whether you're a Muslim or whatever faith that you affiliated with, once you believe in what your faith, your religious practices are, that is you, and what you believe happens to you.
Yes.
So that's,
I like that.
That's plus the medical science. That's what that one. It's constant. It's not changing, but the faith varies. I can't force my faith on people, but I say that whatever your faith is, whether you're Muslim, you're Christian, you're traditionalist, whatever your faith is, if you believe in whatever, just do that. But don't forget the medical science. Because like you said, I understood that God gave wisdom to doctors. And that is God revealed in science. Because we don't know anything unless it has been given to us.
Yes.
So whatever that God has put in science, it is there for us. Recently, I was just reading that most scientists who got the Nobel Peace Prize were Christians.
Some were even priests.
They're priests, yes.
The person who invented antibiotics, who brought antibiotics, was a priest. You know, I think we get it wrong. In fact, when you read about the founding fathers of medicine and even all sciences, most of these people were those who were godly, people who prayed to God. I read a book, I'm sure a lot of you may have read it. The title of the book is The Power of Positive Thinking or something like that. It says that a lot of scientists, when they are solving equations, it could be physics, it could be mathematics, whatever it is, the first thing is they ask God for support, because we have limited knowledge. It's even the Bible. Bible says that we see in part and we know in part. The spirit of the prophet is subject to the prophet. In fact, some people are prophets, but their prophecy is not in the field of you are going to die tomorrow and all those things we see in church. They are prophetic in the science space.
Yes.
So they can see things in the future. They can understand certain equations, certain dynamics. And I mean, sometimes I ask myself, the books we read, the medical books and all those, who gave them the wisdom to write the books?
Yeah, it's God. It's God. And those were gems or precious stones I picked along my journey. Yeah. So this was one, faith and science work together, and God is revealed in science.
Wow,
those
I like that.
I picked up
God
as I was
in science.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And you know, this is a scripture. It's in the Bible, in the book of Romans.
Okay.
It says that with the natural things, you know, with the natural science, natural stuff, we are able to understand the Godhead. In other words, we claim there is God, right? We have not seen him before.
Yes.
But based on certain things, physical laws of life, we understand the spiritual power.
Yes.
So I like that.
One other scripture that a friend shared with me is that the just shall live by his faith. You know, this scripture is repeated 4 times in the Bible. The first one was in Habakkuk chapter 2, when God was telling the prophet to do a lot of things. Then he said that the just shall live by his faith. In the New Testament, is the just shall live by faith. But you realize that everyone has a measure of faith.
Oh, of course.
So someone's faith is to just pray over water, drink, it's fine. That is that person. You can't compare yourself to that person. So for me, what I came to understand was that for me, I want to believe in the medicine I'm taking. I want to know that God is going to sanctify it and make me whole. So that was what I also held on to, that the child shall live by his faith. If you tell me that, I had a few people who were telling me, oh, Elsie, you're a Christian. Let's trust God that you're going to ignore the surgery. I said, thank you. But I still say, God, let your will be done. I'm going to go through the surgery. I'm going to go through the chemotherapy and also through the radiation. And that, for me, was my faith. That by my faith, I will be healed.
Wow. Yeah. This is so inspiring. And so we got to understand that when you got the sonography, it was the sonography that your doctor had your...
Yes, the 3rd breast ultrasound.
Okay, so you did a 3rd ultrasound. Yes. That is, after the first one, you were not convinced, you want to do the second one, then the 3rd one.
Yes.
Then the 3rd one, your doctor got to know there was something wrong, probably thinking of cancer.
Yes.
And after that, take us through the stages. What happened from there, from that incident?
Okay, so I did a true cut biopsy under ultrasound guidance.
Okay.
So they took a sample of the lump in my breast and also a sample of the lymph nodes to the pathologist.
Okay.
And all this I did myself. So I took the sample myself to Pathologists Without Borders.
You did yourself means?
I mean, I took the sample there myself.
Okay.
So I remember getting to the
So
entrance,
the doctors did the
the doctors,
and everything.
They took the sample
and they gave it
to me to send it.
Okay.
It was a bit traumatic for me. And I remember getting to the entrance of that place and I just looked at it and I said, God, please let there be no cancer in this thing.
Is that a normal procedure or because you were a nurse?
No, that's a normal procedure. And I think something has to be done about it here because some patients might not handle it well. Might even go home and come in. They'll take it later. And even the mere fact that you're holding something, you don't know what is in it. It's a bit traumatic. For me, it was traumatic for me, but I just
And was it within the same hospital space?
No, I had to travel outside the hospital.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So the sample was taken in one hospital?
Yes.
Which was Trust Hospital?
No. So after Trust, I did everything in Kolebu.
Okay.
So I think Kolebu pathologists will take some time, and they really wanted things to be quick. So the private pathologists will speed up a bit, and it's also more expensive. But you get your result.
So you mean doing it in Kolebu is cheaper?
Yes.
But it takes time?
Yes.
Is it because there is so much work overload or?
Yes. That's what I think.
Okay.
That's to the best of my knowledge. So that's what happened. So I sent it there myself, and I went for a report myself. I opened it myself.
So how many distance did you travel from? The sample was taken in Kolebu, right?
Kolebu, yes. So just the next town, Latibia.
Oh, okay.
I just definitely go outside.
Okay. So this is like a medical laboratory?
Yes, a medical laboratory. They usually do pathological stuff.
Okay.
So that is what
all right.
I did. Yeah.
Rick. Yes, viewers, we have had a very good interaction in the first session. We'll be going on break. When we come back, we'll continue from there. Stay tuned.
他们说，上班已经这么累了，为什么还要去户外？他们说，爬过这道坡，还有更大的坡。但他们不知道，山顶有怎样的风景。更不会知道，山的那一边，有朵你从未见过的云。
测试车辆 check，200公斤载重 check， 测试仪器 check， 驾驶员准备。雷达原生纯电皮卡平台 MAP 技术性能对比，现在开始。 仿照生活中息息相关的用车场景，200千克的半载工况，半封闭场地0至60千米半载加速制动实测。原生纯电皮卡平台 MAP 首款车型雷达 RD6，与我们的粉丝一起见证生活中最真实的测试数据。
诞生于原生纯电皮卡平台 MAP 下的雷达 RD6，它搭载的是3合1的超能电机，最大扭矩达到了384牛米，相比坦克平台在动力性能上数据会更高。而在电机效率上，原生纯电皮卡平台 MAP 的电机效率高达97.4%，超越了豪华品牌中型 SUV 奥特能平台锐哥的电机96%的效率。
最终半载加速成绩为4.08秒，该成绩可媲美高功率城市 SUV。
而其实原生纯电皮卡平台 MAP 更有着4秒级的0到100加速的隐藏实力，超越了传统燃油皮卡平台。雷达 RD6 配合博士达波士的智能制动器，它能够主动减压制动，它的响应时间在150毫秒，比传统的液压快了3倍。
下一项平台对比。
Hi, it's lovely to come your way again. In this video, we are going to learn how to do a self-breast examination. It's important to do the examination every month if you are a lady between 20 years and 40 years. You do it 1 week after your menses, and you are 40 years and above. You choose one particular day in a month to do this examination. You have to be very relaxed doing this. You don't have to be tensed at all. So you check for changes in your breast in 4 methods. 1, you stand in front of a mirror with your hands by your side. Okay. Then you put your hand over your head. That's the next step. Then your hands on your waist. The fourth one is you with your hands on your waist, you tighten your chest muscle and you bend forward and you just wiggle your breast like this. Okay, with that done, if you are lying down to do this examination, you put a pillow over your head and under your shoulder. Or if you are standing or sitting in front of a mirror, you just lift your hand and put it over your head like this. So imagine we are standing in front of a mirror to do this examination. I'm going to use a prosthesis to help us to understand how to do this examination better. So here I have my prosthesis that is going to represent the breast. Okay. So with this examination, you can use 3 methods. You can use the circular method, the grid method, or the wedge. Okay. So before you start, you would use the padded area of your 3 middle fingers. You check for swelling above your collarbone and below your collarbone, and also swelling in your armpits. Okay. And after that, you come to the breast. So let's say we are using the circular method. So you start from the outer, just like under the armpit. So you go gently. So using light, medium, or firm pressures, you go around the breast without lifting the finger. So go around it gently, feeling the breast to see if there are some changes in it. So by this time, you should know how your breast feels like. Good. So when you get to the center, you press the nipple a bit to see whether you have a discharge. Okay. Using the grid method, it's an up and down motion. You start from the armpit as well. So you go up, you come down, up, down, up, down, all through, yeah, and down. You squeeze the nipple. And the last method is the wedge. So you move from out to the inner. So you move in like this. Whilst feeling your breast to light, medium to firm pressures gently. Okay. Then don't forget to squeeze your nipples to see if there's any abnormal discharge. Once you are done with this examination, and you have any changes, you report it to the doctor immediately. So if you found any lump, any thickening or any hardened part of your breast, if you see that there's an itchy or scaly area, if you have any sore, if you have rash behind the nipple, if you have any pain that doesn't seem to go, and if you have just any general discomfort in your breast, please you kindly report to the doctor immediately. With the diagnosis and treatment of breast cancer, timing is key. Early detection and treatment save life. I hope you found this video very important. I'd like you to give my video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, share with friends. It may save a life. And I encourage all of us to do our self-breast examination. Thank you. See you in my next video. Bye-bye.
Right, welcome back from our short break. I'm sure by now you're conversant with breast screening examination, which you just watched. It's something that is not to be watched, it's to be practiced. So I hope you can screen record this session of the video if you're a young lady. Then you can be practicing this, as she explained, that it's supposed to be done 1 week after your menses, right? Yes. So you can also detect early if there is something fishy, any lump in your breast, so you can take the necessary precautions. Thank you so much for watching, and we are moving on to the rest of our conversation.
Okay, so to add to what we just watched, yes. 1% of men also get breast cancer.
I like this so much. Oh, thank you, lady, for bringing this up. When people hear of breast cancer, they think it is only for women.
No.
Thank you for bringing this up.
Yeah. So it's a life skill everyone needs to know, both men and women.
So the breast screening is not supposed to be done by ladies
alone.
But
men too.
The ladies are supposed to do it 1 week after their menses. Yes. So the men.
As for the men, anytime. Everyone has a breast tissue.
Okay.
As that with women, because of the fat tissue, it becomes more pronounced. Yeah. Yes. But even when your chest is flat, you can still. The technique is the same. And the sad thing about breast cancer in men is that it's very aggressive. Because with the women, there's a lot of tissue to play. I mean, the tumor is able to play around there, small, the fat and all that. But with the men, there is nothing much. So it really spreads very, very quickly. And the signs are the same. Usually they have the rash behind the nipple discharge and pain and all that. So men should also learn it. They can do it for their wives. Their wives can do it for them. Some wives, for them, they are fortunate. Their husbands notice the lump for them, whether through foreplay or through the examination
itself. Like that part. Tell me. How can a lady watching this know that my boyfriend, boyfriends are, you don't want to go there. How can a lady watching this know that my husband or my partner can help me discover or detect if I have a lump, which could be probably a breast cancer? Can you tell us how does it happen?
So if your partner does it often, he would also be conversant with his lady's breast.
Okay.
Just like if you do it yourself,
so are you saying your partner can do the examination for you?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
A lot of men will like that.
Yeah, I know. that is why they also need to learn how to do it. They shouldn't leave it for the women alone.
So how did they do it?
So with that, it will just be like a clinician doing it for you. Okay. So you will lie down and he would just go around it.
So it's not sucking the breast.
No. Sucking the breast, no. It's for babies. Yes.
But we have men who do it.
Yeah, for adults, it's just a pleasure.
Okay.
That comes with it, and it also helps with sexual gratification. Okay. But it doesn't really prevent. But what actually prevents the cancer is the sucking of the child. So we encourage women to breastfeed their babies at least 2 years.
Oh.
Because see, when the baby is sucking, the estrogen hormone and the progesterone hormone are being suppressed.
Yes.
And prolactin has taken over. So your body has not been exposed to this hormone for like some 24 months. If you are doing like 2 years breastfeeding, and that also lowers your risk. That's why we encourage women to breastfeed, and that is the only thing that helps the child. I want to emphasize that it is when you allow your baby to suckle your breast. That is what lowers your, but not an adult male sucking your breast. That one is just for sexual gratification and to enhance the relationship.
I think for the sake of brotherhood.
Oh my God.
This one. So are you saying there is this conception, I don't know whether it's misconception or perception about when a guy sucks their lady's breast, it prevents breast cancer. And some guys use that as a warrant, you know? They use that, let me suck my breast, don't you know I can help you prevent breast cancer. So are we saying it's not so?
No, they should do it.
Okay. So how does that help? So, I want to know so that when we are asking for the milk, we know how to ask better.
Sometimes when they even suck a milk comes, they don't want it. They don't like the milk. So if your partner sucks your breast, by during the act, your partner will play with your breast, and if there's something unusual, he will pick it up.
Oh, but in that busy kind of mood, you know, there is no time to detect.
That is what I'm saying. That it doesn't really. But sometimes, at least once you have contact with the breast and you are with it, if there is something pronounced, you can fish it out. So we are not discouraging them from doing that, but that's to say that does not prevent breast cancer, but it can help detect unusual lumps or unusual changes. Even if there's some discharge, the guy can notice, I feel something in my mouth. Let's see what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
So we are encouraging them.
Okay. I think the advice is, lady is saying that it's not wrong. You know, it's not bad for a man to suck their lady's breast. In a way, it helps. But when you are sucking, don't be so busy, you know, playing that, but also be alert to watch out for a probable lump.
And be gentle with
it. Yes. Don't be
gentle with the breast.
Gentle with the breast. They should use their tongue or their teeth. Their tongue.
And everything. When you are gentle, it's even more pleasurable than when you are very aggressive.
Yes. So some people, they want the thing fast. So anyway, I like that part. Yes. So tell us what happened after the pathology. What was?
So after the reports, the histopathology, it tells you what type of cancer it is, whether there's metastasis or not. And yes, it confirmed that there was metastasis in the lumps, both in the breast and
Somebody watching may not understand the word metastasis and all those things. Can you explain?
No, let me just, point of correction. Malignant, not metastasis.
Okay.
Metastasis means it has spread beyond the breast gland. But no, this one was malignant.
Yes. So there are basically two types of tumors. We have what is called benign and malignant. Malignant is the most dangerous. That means it can travel, it can spread through your lymph node and your system, which is what we call the cancer, right?
That's cancer.
And we have a tumor that cannot spread. So that is the benign.
The benign. Yeah. So mine was the one that can spread, which was the malignant.
Yes.
And I had to wait for another type of test called the immunohistochemistry.
Okay.
That is to tell you what is feeding your cancer.
Yes.
Okay. What type of cancer do you have? And the position of it. So for me, it was my hormones. It came out that my hormones was feeding. We have about 3 types. We have the hormone type. We have the how do you call it? We have something called triple negative.
Yes.
And also the HER2 possibly. So mine was estrogen, progesterone receptor positive.
Okay.
But I was negative for HER2.
Okay.
And negative for triple negative. So for now, it helps the doctors to really know what type of treatment to give to you.
Okay.
We have something called targeted therapy. Now they know how hard to hit the cancer, which direction to take, even which drugs to give you. So with all these investigations, then I also had to do CT scan of my chest and abdomen just to find out that the cancer is just localized. Localized means just within the breast. It had not spread. And fortunately for me, it hadn't spread to my chest.
Of the early detection.
Yes.
Okay. So viewers, this is so important. early detection is so key. It's so key, it's so important. In her case, she was able to detect it early because probably she was doing the screening every month. And when she went through all the pre-diagnostics investigation and all that, at the end of the day, they got to know that the breast cancer or the cancer has not spread to other parts of the body. It was just within the breast. That was the good news.
Yes, within the breast, but in the lymph nodes.
In the lymph nodes, okay.
So that is what's called me stage 2.
Okay.
Otherwise, it would have been a stage 1 cancer. Yeah. So I also did an echo, that's to see how strong my heart was.
Yes.
And I also did liver function test because of the
chemo and
the toxic drugs they are going to push into my
because
into my
the liver that is going to excrete all these substances from the body, and if the liver is not strong, then it may not be wise to go through.
Yes. So that is what I did, and now I had to do the chemotherapy. Did 8 cycles, 3 weeks interval. Yeah.
Wow.
So my director, knowing my marital status, asked me if I would want someone to help, because I told her that I stay with my mom and my 5 kids, and I didn't want to let anyone know. I wanted to contain the information, and my siblings are not around, out of the country, so I would really need someone to be with me during the chemo. So she asked which of my friends I would want to help me on the ward. So there was one lady that I recommended.
So even before that, I want to know, you know, we are human beings, we are social beings, we are psychological beings and all that. When after the pathology came, the history, the pathohistology came, and finally you got to know that you are stage 2, right?
Yeah, stage 2.
And you now knew, awareness has now dawned on you that, hey, you have cancer. How did you feel?
Earlier on, I've been psychologically prepared to know that it's something that I can fight. So I took it as a project.
Okay.
I took it as a ministry I want to embark on. So I was really ready for it. Interestingly, I was doing home care service for an older woman with also cancer, squamous cell carcinoma.
Okay.
And it is ulcerated. And I was taking care of her when my diagnosis was made. And it was difficult going to dress her wound, knowing that the woman was going. And I asked myself, am I also going to go like that? But I just told myself that no, I still kept going to treat her. I told her of my condition, that at some point I wouldn't be able to come because of the chemo. And she really encouraged me. So I was really ready. That was just to say that I was really ready for the treatment. Though I was also cancer patient then, I was still caring for someone who also had cancer, who even had metastasis and was dying. So I was really ready to go. And I told myself that I want to be an advocate. I looked at the future. I looked at a time like this where I'll sit behind the screen and tell people there's hope after diagnosis. So I said, hey, I'm going to go through this. What I'm going to go through is not going to kill me. It's rather going to give me a testimony. I told myself that I'm going to better understand people because of my background as a nurse, and also going through it. I realized that my testimony is my power, and I'll be able to explain or relate with people when they share their story, and also to encourage them. So I saw a bigger picture, and I said I was going to go through it. So like I was saying about this friend of mine, so I was giving a friend, Jennifer Alasani. She was so good to me. So she was taking me for my chemo sessions and giving me my injections after that, because the chemo lowers the neutrophils.
Okay.
That protects me against infections. So I get some shots 3 days after the chemo for 3 consecutive, and she will come home to give me that shots. She will go with me for my next sessions. And the first time I went for chemo. I had beautiful locks on.
Wow.
Yes, I had locks on. I mean, it had grown to this point, and I loved it so much. But the first time I had a chemo, my nurse looked at me and said, "Elsie, the next time you come in 3 weeks, you would have nothing on your hair."
Wow.
I was like, wow. I would not wait for cancer to shame me to I wouldn't want to take up my hair.
Lose all your hair.
So I say, Jennifer said, "Hey, Elsie, you know what we do? We are going to save the hair and use it as a wig cap." So we went far from where I stayed to a barber in Laboni just to get my hair cut off. And that was how ready I was for the cancer. So I have photos of how when I cut my hair and how I started to lose my hair. And I said, "Hey, this thing will not shame me. I'm ready for you."
Wow. Yeah. I like the internal strength you were able to gather to be able to meet cancer head on and fight. Yeah. You fought a good fight.
Thank you.
You fought a good fight. So at that stage, when you got to know you had cancer, and now you knew that you're going to go through some treatments, which is the chemotherapies and all that. Did you discuss with your children? Because you mentioned you have 5 kids.
Yeah. No, I did it gradually because I didn't know how to explain to them. So the first time I trimmed my hair low, I just told them, "Mommy wants to be like you."
Oh, so the whole time through your diagnosis to treatment, they were not aware?
They were not aware.
How can you tell me their ages?
So the older one at that time was 9.
Okay.
Now 11. And the youngest was 2, now 4. So the older one was 9, and I had a set of twins after him.
Oh, you have twins?
Yes.
Okay.
And they were 7 by then. And the fourth one was a girl. She's 5, so she was 3 or 4, 3.5, and the last one was just 2. So they were so young, they wouldn't understand it. So I just kept it gradual. I didn't know what to do. So I just started with that. I said, "Mommy wants to be like you. Mommy wants to look like you."
Wow.
And all that. So that was how I started. And whilst I was home and I'm not well from my chemo drug, I just say, "Mommy is not feeling well." Though I'm weak, I just tried to put myself together to take care of them. My mom also did a very good job.
Your mom moved in to be with you?
My mom was staying with me already.
Okay.
Because my marriage had broken. So she was staying with me and helping me. So she's also not well, but she tried to help me. And we all took care of the kids all through the process. So I just say, "Mommy is not well today. Mommy is not well today," but I tried to take care of it. I remember one day in my 5th cycle, the drug was changed to paclitaxel.
Okay.
So paclitaxel is stubborn for numbness and pain, tingling sensations and all that. So I remember having some spasm at my back. It was so bad. I didn't know how to get up. It was like 5 a.m. and I was still in bed. How am I going to get up to prepare them for school that day? And I just asked my older boy then to just rub. I had olive oil. Then I believed in it, so I said, "Rub the olive oil on my back for me," and it was very soothing. And before I called my doctor, and she said, "Oh, it takes some," and I'll just say, "If it's not helping, you can come and let's do some bone scan and all that." I thought it had spread to my bones, but that was how bad it was. But I tried to put myself together because I knew that after some few days I would be fine. So that was how I went through my chemo drug, and that was how they got to know at that point. They still didn't know it was cancerous. And after my surgery, I came home with a scar, and I was
so even before, you did not inform them about the
no,
surgery?
not at all. So I just told them, "Mommy is traveling. Mommy will be traveling for a while." So before discharge, the breast care nurse asked me, "Have you told your children?" And I said, "No." Then it was like, wow.
Was there any reason why you kept it from them?
I didn't know how to explain to them. And I didn't want them to be worried. I wanted to contain.
But your mom was aware?
My mom was aware, my siblings were aware, but I told them that let's keep it cool.
And was there any point where did you cry ever in front of them in the house or something?
No. After shedding the tear with my doctor, I never shed a tear.
Oh,
again.
Then you were strong.
Yes. So when I was being discharged, my nurse gave me a book that explains cancer to children in the language they will understand.
Whoa.
So she said, just put it somewhere, let your older boy have access to this book. Once you start reading, he will start asking you questions, and it can start the conversation. So that is what I did. So when I came back, I was covering up, I was dressing in the bathroom and all that. And I put the book where he could have access to. Then he started reading. Started asking me questions. Mommy, what are these? What is chemo? What is something in the brain?
That is more like, we call something in MPH, we call it TTM. Trans-theoretical model, where you want some people to know something, but you don't want to tell them direct.
Yes.
So you give them an exposure.
Yes.
Maybe an advert on TV, they watch it, and later they start asking questions. Wow, so that's nice.
That is what he did. And my little girl wants me to hold her, wants me to carry her at my back, and I was like, no, I can't. Mommy is not. Mommy has a wound here. What happened to you?
Oh, that was after the surgery.
After the surgery, she was little, 2 years, and I was still carrying her at my back. So she wants me to carry her, hold her on my chest, or put a cloth around her and put her at my back. Even wanting to hug mommy, I couldn't do it. There are kids, they would want to play and hit their head on your chest, and it was so painful. Yes. So I kept distancing myself from plays and all that. Wow. So when my son was accident, then I told them that, you know what, mommy had something like a stone in her breast. And the doctors say if they don't do something about it, it can become big and mommy will die. So they had to go and remove it. So at that point, that was when I showed them my scar. Yes, I said, look at it. And that time it had healed. Look at the scar. Mommy's left breast is gone, but mommy is alive for you. Mommy has another one. Yes. So I started with the boys first. So that is what I showed to them. They still don't understand. And one of them, they still ask, mommy, the little ones who ask, mommy, when will your breast grow again? I said, oh, it will grow. Don't worry, it will come back.
Sorry about that.
But with time, they got you, because they also saw me doing videos on YouTube and talking about breast cancer and all that. So they're able to relate to what I was saying. And I showed them my breast pads. They even play with it. Hey, this is mommy's breast and all that. So they were okay. Even when I was going through chemo, because I lost my hair, I was wearing caps most of the time. If one day maybe someone comes to the door and I forget to wear, they would even pick it for me. They would, mommy, your hair. So I did like fun, but gradually I was telling them. And I know that even now, they still don't know, but they still tell me, hey, mommy, my friend says they saw you on TV and that you have breast cancer. I said, tell them, mommy is a breast cancer survivor. Mommy does not have it now. Mommy has survived. So that is how I know they will know more gradually as they grow and they appreciate some of these things. Yeah.
Wow. This is quite incredible. I think this is something we need to know as parents.
Yeah.
How to break such news to children.
Yeah.
And maybe later we'll talk more about that. Now, still going through the story, you discovered, the doctors now told you about the breast cancer. You went through chemotherapy.
Yeah.
You did a surgery.
Yeah. So I did a total mastectomy.
Okay, we'll come there. So you said, did you do anything like radiation therapy?
Yes. So post-surgery, they still took the breast tissue and they took some lymph nodes there to the lab. Just wanted to find out whether the chemo has been able to clear everything. So they managed to get like 10 lymph nodes.
Okay.
And I was told that if less than 4 had cancer cells, I was free. I would escape radiation. But if more than 4 had the cancer cells,
that is after surgery?
Yes, after surgery. Then I would have to go through radiation. So I was just praying. And unfortunately, 6 out of 10 had cancer cells. So it means that, yes, they had to hit it hard again with radiation. Even after going through eight cycles of chemotherapy, with surgery, taking a chunk of the tumor out, I still need to go through just to clear it. So now so radiation is localized. It's just directed to the parts you have the issue.
Yeah.
But chemo goes through throughout
your
so that's why you have other issues like the side effect. That's why, chemo affects both normal and cancer cells. So the normal cells, the good things that they grow again. That is why the hair grows back. I try to keep it low because I think I enjoy the short hair now. So the hair grows, your nail bed change, you gain your strength again, and all that. Those nausea and vomiting all subside. But with the radiation, it's just directed to where the issue is. So I had radiation to my chest wall. Yeah, I had the 25 fractions. That means every day for 5 weeks, Monday to Friday, I had to go be on the machine, use high gamma energy rays to just treat that place, make sure that minute cancer cells are being taken care of. Yeah. Then after that, I started with my hormonal therapy because my tumor was hormone receptor positive. Now we have to do a targeted therapy by targeting what causes it so that it would reduce the effect of the estrogen hormone on my body and also on the breast tissue. So the hormonal drug, what it does is that there are receptors in the breast or in the uterus. So it tries to it prevents estrogen from the breast from accepting the estrogen. So it just blocks it. So even though your body is exposed to the estrogen, that part of your body will not receive it so that it will not fuel the growth again. So that is what I was put on, tamoxifen 20 milligram daily. And I've been taking it, this is my 2nd year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. In fact, listening to the story, if you have not been through it, you will not feel and understand the extent of what you have been through. You are the only one who understands what you have been through.
Yeah.
And I hope people or viewers, those who are listening to this interview and are going through this, will find some comfort and some kind of courage from the inspirations that you are giving out there.
Yeah.
And this just reminded me of a friend. She's called Maggie. Back in 2021, we went for a party together. We danced together. We were happy. And I think I saw her also in 2022. Just last year, October, I was in Singapore and I saw her advert on Facebook that Maggie is gone. We tried to investigate to find out, and they said she died as a result of breast cancer. So you sitting here today, telling us about your story is a miracle.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful to God for granting you the strength, the fortitude for you to go through this, to tell your story. And I know that God is going to take you to many places. So right now, whilst we are here, what do you want to tell somebody who perhaps may be going through a breast cancer therapy or has just been diagnosed of breast cancer?
Okay. Now, once you know you have breast cancer, the first step to treatment is in your mind. You just tell yourself that, hey, you are going to be fine. You have to go through it. You have to subject yourself to the treatment and know that it is possible. There is hope after diagnosis. Don't give up. There will be challenges on the way. There are a lot of bottlenecks or blockades or things that prevent people from going through the whole treatment. But don't give up when you meet certain challenges, sometimes with finances and with support or emotional or physical support. Just look for alternatives. There are support groups around. Breast cancer survivors support group. You can reach out to some of them to get your emotional support and also to guide you in what to do. There are also patient navigators who will tell you what to do, what next to do, and all that. So there's a lot of help out there. I never had someone to look up to, but I told myself that I am my own survivor and I looked up to myself for surviving. But there are more people out there that you can look at, like myself. You can reach out to me You can also reach out to other people. You can talk to your oncologist or your surgeon. They can direct you to people to speak with, and you are good to go. There is hope after diagnosis. Remember, the battle is in the mind. Once you win the battle upstairs, you are good to go.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, lady. I think my last two questions I'll ask you is about financing breast cancer treatment. I think in the previous discussion, we understood that it's not free.
At all.
So tell us, how did you finance yours and what is the trend? What is going on?
Okay, fortunately, they said my survival is a miracle, and I believe it so much because for me, I was so fortunate. My employer absorbed all my medical bills. So the Trust Hospital took care of me from trocar biopsy to radiation.
Wow, they paid for all.
They paid for all.
Wow, thank you so much, Trust Hospital. I don't know the name of the CEO or whoever is in charge.
Dr. Juliana.
Dr. Juliana.
Amen.
Yeah. Thank you so much. On behalf of Lady Elsie, we are saying thank you so much. She's sitting here today, it's all because of your support. And we are so grateful. We are praying that you'll do more than what you have done for her. And she's so grateful for that. Thank you, Trust Hospital. Wow.
Yes. So that's the fine. So I didn't have to worry about that. But that's a major headache for the average Ghanaian woman who have to go through the cancer treatment. With cancer treatment, time is of utmost essence. So when you delay because of finances, it changes the treatment and also the prognosis, the end result of your cancer. So that is one of the challenges is finances. And one other one too is how society also stigmatize against women.
Really?
Yes, women going through breast. Usually down south here, we don't see them, but up north, if they know that you have one breast we are going through, you have to hide yourself. There is one survivor who is a nurse, a midwife in the north, and she was like, she had to even hide going for chemo because she's afraid of stigmatization.
Wow.
Yes, so the stigmatization a lot. I think people think it is contagious. People think it's spiritual. People think that because of a bad thing you have done. For me, I heard that because I have left my husband, God is punishing me. Yes, that was what I heard from some quarters, but that is not so. It could happen to anyone. For me, I don't have anyone in my family with breast cancer. I breastfed all my 5 kids. And I am healthy by the grace of, but I don't know how it came from, where it came from. So those are the challenges that people go through.
Wow. I think we need to let people out there understand. Okay, in medicine, cancer, we call it idiopathic or idiopathic. It means that it has no known cause.
Yeah.
All types of cancers. And same with breast cancer, even though we have what is called risk factors and certain things that one will do to have this disease, but we don't know what causes it. If somebody is having breast cancer, it's not because they are witch or because they are divorcee or because somebody is doing them or because they did not, all these kind of things must die out of the system. In fact, if somebody is having breast cancer, it does not mean when you greet them, when you touch them, you get breast cancer. It's not like that. So please, out there, people out there, when you see somebody with breast cancer, that is the time for you to give love, show care. Because there is an adage in P that says that, to say, about you say, now why then? What's the show as you today is somebody, but tomorrow it can be you. Okay? So it's quite unfortunate. Did you experience any of this sort of stigmatization and all those?
No, I didn't experience because I didn't let anyone know I was going through that. But one unfortunate thing too is, well, I didn't get a spousal support, but that was fine. But since some people marriages fail because of breast cancer.
Oh, their husbands leave them.
Yes, their husbands leave them. And the sad thing, some husbands will prevent them from going to the hospital or for even going for mastectomy because they feel that I don't want you to lose one of your breasts. But more often than not, eventually the women die and the men also remarry. Okay? So please, I want to advise our men, please, if your wife or your sister is being diagnosed with breast cancer, one, you have to give that person the emotional and the psychological support. Support your wife or your sister or the person you know to seek medical attention. Even if she doesn't want to go, encourage them to go. Okay, and go with them. See, when they're going for their diagnostic investigations and they are going for all that, once you are with them, they are very comforted and they know that they have your backing. Okay, so don't leave your wives or your significant others to go through this alone. Go with them for their doctor's appointments, encourage them, be there for them, give them all the support they need. Don't discourage them from going to hospital. Don't discourage them from accepting mastectomy, and don't discourage them from taking chemotherapy. You know, there are alternate medicine, but what proves or the protocol that helps to treat cancer is what is gotten at the hospital, not anywhere else. So please, you can do healthy living, that's fine, but that will not cure cancer. No, you have to hit it hard with chemo, you have to hit it hard with surgery and also with radiation, also targeted therapy. So please, let us encourage ourselves to seek the treatment early, because when you treat it early, the chances of survival are very high. But when you come late, we would not be able, or the clinicians will not be able to do much for you. So that's my advice for all of us, especially our husbands, because it's so sad that a husband will prevent a wife from going for treatment and eventually the wife will die. That death is a needless death. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank you.
So back on the financing, let's assume Trust Hospital, which is your employer, was not there to give you the support. Were there any ways or any means of surviving?
I would have looked for other means. My family would have come through for me to support me. But once I didn't go through that channel, I wouldn't know how it will feel.
Yes. But do you know the estimate of from diagnosis to treatment?
Okay. Yes. So for the pre-diagnostic tests, I did it with my facility, but so I wouldn't know how much it will cost. But for the chemo, my time, the chemo per session was like almost 1,000 cedis every 3 weeks. But fortunately, some of those drugs were on the National Health Insurance policy, so there were some top-ups that we did. But it's not all cancer drugs that are on the NHIS. So we are encouraging or asking the people that matter, authorities, to try and put these drugs on the system so people can have access to it. So that was it. So like 1,000 per. So let's say my chemo costed like 8,000, and also the surgery. Surgery too, NHIS helped a bit. So I paid like 2,000 because I had NHIS. But for the radiation, no, it didn't cover. My hospital still came through, and the hormonal pills I take is also on the NHIS. So I must say that I was fortunate to get sponsorship from my hospital, and also with my NHIS card, I was able to access this.
Then I think for this one, I'll comment National Health Insurance scheme.
Yes.
Oh, that is
even though there's still a long way to go, at least it's okay.
Wow, NHIS, you're doing very well. Wherever you are, you're doing very well. You mentioned some of the drugs for chemo are on NHIS, right?
Yes, yes.
The surgery too, they took part of the cost.
Yes.
And also
the hormonal pills
therapy,
that I take.
The hormonal pills. Thank you so much, National Health Insurance. So this is also an encouragement to viewers. If you are watching and you have not subscribed to NHIS, you should get your insurance card. I think this is an advice to you. I don't have the card yet.
My God.
After this, I'm going to get my NHIS card
for emergency purposes.
Yes.
So that helped. That helped, and so for me, the vision is that I would have an organization.
Yes, that is the last part I want to talk about. Yes, so go ahead.
So I'll have an organization that would fund people living with cancer or going through cancer treatment. Because a few days back, I heard of a woman who didn't have much, a widow, and she had to gather some money for like 6 months to do one of the treatments, not so sure about it. But after she was able to gather that money was stolen on her way. Yes, at the market, or I don't know where she was, but the money was picked from her bag. It was so sad. She had to wait to put some money together again. And by the time she had that money, the condition had progressed and it has entered into her lungs. She's breathless, she's coughing, she's on oxygen. So you can see that someone like this, if she had money was readily available, her life could have been spared and she wouldn't have gotten to this stage. There are a lot of people who default treatment because maybe they have gone through chemo, they are supposed to go for their next session, they don't have the money. You know, we even do blood work before we go. So before every session, you have to do your blood test to see whether you are strong enough to do it. Some of them don't even have money to even do the blood test, let alone having money for the session. So they default and the treatment becomes so cumbersome and other. So money is of essence. So for me, I'm trusting God that in the future I have an organization that would, if not all, at least fund it a bit or support people going through cancer. And I started something like that on my YouTube channel. So I started with advocacy for now. Okay. I talk about it. So whilst doing chemo, I started a channel on YouTube called the Med Care Hub, where I give health talks. I talk about abuse also. I talk about health conditions, family life. I mean, it's a hub where you can find a lot of things there. So I'm using that medium to spread the news that this is what you have to look out for. That's cancer sign. This is what you have to do as self-breast examination. This is what you have to do and give hope and inspiration to women. Then later in the future, as the Lord leads, we'll start that organization for people to also benefit from it. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much, Lady Elsie. Yes. I think we are going to talk more after this interview about how we can also be of support or of help to your foundation.
Okay.
Just sitting here, a lot of things are going through my mind how we can collaborate.
Okay.
Thank you so much for sharing your story.
You're welcome.
And I'm sure that this story is going to be a testament to many for all people to know that knowing that you have breast cancer is not the end of life.
Not at all.
She's here. And she's a testament, she's a testimony to everyone out there that breast cancer is not equal to death. It's not a death penalty. When you have breast cancer and you are able to go through the processes that she has been through, and with your faith, and I like that word you said, it says that faith and science go together. Faith and science. Don't carry faith alone. Don't carry science alone. Put the two together and you'll get a better result. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
You're
and
welcome.
I hope you'll meet again to talk about other stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure being on your show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to the story today about Lady Elsie's breast cancer journey. We are pleased, and I hope that this story is going to be a testament. It's going to motivate you, it's going to inspire you. Don't watch this alone. If you're a male, you are watching, send it to your wife, send it to your girlfriend, send it to your sisters. In fact, this particular interview should have 30 million views just from Ghana alone, because this is important. Thank you very much. Subscribe and share.